Yesterday, the Denver District Attorney's Office charged a man in connection with a suspected road rage shooting. Just the latest road rage incident in Colorado. And data from Denver police says road rage cases have increased 60% from last year. That's why we want to bring in today our legal expert, Whitney Traylor, because these statistics, I mean, they're terrifying. I was watching, you guys on the 4 o'clock yesterday. It's incredible, the amount of cases, 60%, you hear that. What is this attributed to?
Yeah, there's so many factors, and if you've been driving in Colorado for even 5 years, you will have seen that increase over the years. And for me, I'm a native, so I've seen it. Early on, you knew what drivers were going to do, the way they were going to cut you off, whatever. There was always a wave. Now it's anything goes. And so there's a lot of statistics that say or a lot of research saying what leads to some of the road rage. And of course, it's stress, economic and political, which we have a ton of right now. The cognitive component where it makes it feel personal. And I was thinking about that, and I was like, yeah, it definitely feels personal when you get cut off for whatever reason. The increase in traffic, your sex. Male drivers are more likely to be road rage, which I could see. And then people who identify as high anger drivers. So people who possess hostile ways of thinking, drive riskier, quicker to get angry, those kind of things. So all of those factors, it makes sense because we're seeing a compounding of all of those things, really.
Well, it's terrifying. I was stuck in a big construction zone earlier today, and I saw a guy get out of the car, yell at the construction people.
Are you serious?
What is happening? You know, I mean, it's not convenient, but like, how do you do anything about this? Is there a law? Is there something you can do to kind of try and tell people this isn't good?
Right. Well, there are laws related to this, and of course, with the lead-in, it ended up leading to a murder charge. So of course, there could be things like that. But a lot of these come under menacing, which is when you intentionally cause somebody to reasonably apprehend that they're going to experience serious bodily injury. So if you're waving a gun, yelling at somebody, swerving towards them, so that's the menacing charge. But then, of course, there's all the moving violations, speeding, reckless driving, things like that. So some people are saying that we may need stronger laws specifically related to road rage, but of course,
like additional charges.
Seems like it.
Yes.
I mean, with DUIs, there's additional charges.
Yes, that's correct. And so there's all these aggravating circumstances, but there's no law that says, hey, this is what road rage is, but that's why they're coming under menacing and things like that. So people are still being prosecuted, but I'm sure the legislature is going to look at this because if you're seeing a 60% increase, and then I just read the Colorado State Patrol, they saw 4.5% increase in the number of calls they got, and it was like 30,000 or something. It was a high number.
Well, I think, too, you have to start with, like, human behavior, right? Like, you have to change that. I know you used to be a feisty driver. Like, I would honk my horn. I don't touch that thing these days. I'm not about that life.
Yes.
But other than us checking ourselves and trying to, manipulate our own behavior, what can be done? Like, is civil charges a thing that you can do? How can you increase the charges?
Yeah. Well, there's some people, of course, the legislature is one thing, and then there's other people saying, hey, we need a campaign like how we used to have put on your seatbelt and, those drunk driving campaigns. It's like, let's have a road rage campaign type thing. But of course, if you do cause damages, whether you actually cause physical damage or you cause somebody to apprehend or be reasonably apprehensive that you're going to cause serious bodily injury, you can have civil claims. So there's intentional infliction of emotional distress, there's civil assault, civil battery. So this whole situation, it's like this one moment of anger, the lead-in case with the murder. I mean, they were having a road rage incident. The one guy got out, they started a tussle, and it led to a murder charge. And if everybody just, I was reading all these different articles about things you can do, and there was the 4-breath method, which is, basically deep breathing to just slow yourself down. And really, these moments of decision are what's creating this lifetime circumstance. And it's really just a moment of decision. But when we're increasing the level of intensity for sure on the road.
I think, and like you mentioned, civil liability and other things, but I mean, when you hear like why it's never worth ever driving if you've been drinking and the costs, Maybe that's something, I don't know.
Right.
You never know, though. When people are in the heat of the moment, we do need to change behaviors.
And these are more arguments for why we're trying to move to less driving in the city. This is one of the reasons, right? When you're on your bike, and you do have to think about it. Everybody saying, I have kids and groceries and I'm late for work, but when you think about your mood and your kind of general disposition when you get off of a bike, you are way more relaxed. And think about when you get out of your car. I mean, you're completely stressed out after driving, right, in this day and age. So something to think about.
Well, drive home safely.
Yes,
Take
we
your
will.
time.
I'm gonna do
Just wave at people.
I know, because it's busy out there today.
It's very busy out there.
See
It's
me, don't
bananas.
cut me off.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right.